Hey, this is Brett Perot, Realtor in the GTA. Welcome back to the channel. I'll just quickly remind you guys there's 3 ways you can connect with me, and they are always going to be posted down below in the description. For the less observant amongst you, I am in a desert, and this is only because I'm working on my setup and I had to move my computer up to the upstairs of my home because internet and cell phone service is increasingly getting worse and worse in my area. I don't know if this is true for you guys as well, but if it is, if you notice something, just put a post in the comments below because I want to know if it's just me and there's something weird going on with my particular area or my house. So, like I mentioned, yes, I am in a desert, but you and we are not in a desert of the mind because we are here taking a look at what's going on in the real estate market in Canada, thinking about things, and we're trying to come up with some possible solutions to what's been going on if you are a buyer or a seller. And thinking about this stuff obviously is the first way to make an informed decision of whether you're going to sell or buy and when you're going to do that. There's a lot of doom and gloom out there if you're looking at the media when it comes to the housing market, especially in the GTA, with people talking about certain little segments of the market. And specifically, what I can think of right now is the increase in power of sales, dropping prices, and places going for less than asking price. But if we actually look at the facts here, if we're looking at the 1 year price increase, the market is up 2.2%. So we've seen a little bit of a stabilization in prices, even though we've had some interest rate increases over the last year in 2023. And as well, if you look at the 5 year increase in prices, it's 50%. So you may be asking yourself, okay, with the increase in interest rates and them being higher for longer, why haven't we seen the price decreases that we may have expected going back to the pre-pandemic levels? Well, the Bank of Canada has said that the structural lack of supply in the Canadian housing market is a big reason why we haven't seen steepening price declines. And it's very important to remember when we go through large inflationary times, and this is data pushing back a long time ago into different very inflationary times, aggregate prices never come back down to the level that they were before that inflationary spike. So for prices to drop down to the same level that they were before this inflationary spike would be counter to what we've seen in the past. And that's not all. This is kind of a triple threat. So couple that with the large inflationary time, we also have very low housing starts with big developments being put on hold, and we still have a large increase in immigration coming into the country, just adding to that demand for housing even further. And going forward, what this really means for buyers or sellers. And sometimes I get into this whole loop, and I was just thinking about this off camera about added a lot of liquidity to the system during the COVID period, and inflation's going up and prices never come back down. So if currency is being devalued, you should buy now because it's good to own real things in the real world if the value of your currency is going to keep going down, if government keeps spending. And then, I get on this train where I'm thinking about big macroeconomic issues where really what we need to think about is you need to think about, as a home buyer or seller, you need to think about your life, right? Because all these things are going to happen anyway, regardless of what you choose to do in terms of buying or selling a home. Obviously, it factors in, and especially when we're looking at home buyers coming in, and the affordability right now is not good. It's bad, frankly, and the housing prices haven't pushed down quite enough. But if you are able to purchase a home and that's something you want and you want to achieve in your life, and you have good job security and you're able to make the payments, you should be really taking that as the 90% of your calculation, factoring in whether you should make that purchase or not. Are you someone in, say, the Durham region where I am, looking to move a little bit further out or looking to downsize? Well, for you, that is a good proposition because housing prices have still remained high, and you can downsize into a condo in the same type of area if you'd like, and take the rest of that money that you bank and put it in your retirement savings. I think earlier in the video, when talking about economics, I mentioned solutions to what's going on in the housing market. But really, with these things that are this big on a countrywide scale, there really is no solutions. There's only trade-offs that you could make, right? And if you're a buyer right now, you're trading worse affordability to get a lower price. And you're really going to be mortgaging a lesser amount. And then when rates go down, which cyclically we see them do, you are going to be further ahead because you'll have paid less for that house and you'll be taking on less of a debt burden. And when it comes down to refinancing, your payments will go down at that point. I know there's a lot of other realtors out there saying like, this is exactly what's going to happen. This is why you should buy now, everything like that. And those are probably the people you shouldn't be trusting because they're just saying things that are going to get you to want to buy a place. And I think during that pandemic period of super high prices and effectively zero interest rate policy, that got people into a lot of trouble in this time now because we have so many mortgages coming up for renewal in the next 3 years, and they're going to be paying a significantly higher price, and there may be people who will not be able to afford that mistake of essentially trusting someone who didn't have their best interests at heart. I think it's often lost on some consumers at what a realtor actually is. And I feel like sometimes the questions that I get from some consumers are basically asking me to look into this crystal ball and make a prediction on where the market's going to be in 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months time. And that is difficult to do and almost impossible to do, and you shouldn't be making any concrete statements as a realtor about what is actually going to happen in the future because you don't actually friggin' know. What we're here to do as a licensed and insured professional is to work you through the process of looking for, finding a house or selling your house, taking care of all the legal documents that are very important, making sure that you don't get sued, and as well, you have us facilitating making your house look as amazing as possible, or as a buyer, finding you the best possible deal based on the market information that we have from the past and in the present right now. And anyone telling you anything different is just trying to sell you some snake oil, and you should steer clear of that individual. If you thought I was going to ramble on any further, I'm not. Book a discovery call. We can chat about the market anytime, and this video is over. Peace.